Welcome traders to our post-week market review. So jumping straight into things here where the market opened up, which was this candlestick here. As you can see, price continued on bullish, creating a new all-time high at 3,870. From there then, price dropped down, testing this previous all-time high of 3,788, with price then pushing on bullish again, finding a new all-time high of 3,895. Price then dropped down and began to consolidate in and throughout this sort of area here, which I want to touch up on now. So I want to show you sort of with a fixed volume range and show you that price was sort of buyers and sellers were most active within this area right here. So this indicates to us that we are seeing an enormous amount of buyers and sellers injecting volume into the markets through exit orders and enter orders, executions, limits, etc., etc. The most volume and the sort of most fair value for buying and selling gold was seen by traders to be in and throughout this area here. I'm going to go ahead and mark that in a nice little green so we can keep that going. So again, price then pushed up from this level once we saw price exit at around the start of London session on the Thursday. Price then came up to test this previous all-time high of 3,895. From there, price dropped all the way down through a massive sort of correction where we saw price come all the way down to around 3,820. From there, price decided to continue on bullish, and with the market finishing at this level here. Obviously volume did slow down, and the reason I'm marking this in another green box the same way as I have done here, so if we measure the market volume sort of from the end of this move to the sort of close of the market, you can see that price's fair value is sort of within this range right here. So if I go ahead and mark that in nicely, you can see that price is testing within this area. If I go to minute 5, you can see the same sort of thing as you can see in this other green box that I marked in here. Price just sort of consolidating with low volume, buyers and sellers entering within the markets before we then saw that crazy shift. You can obviously see price pushed up, testing that previous all-time high, technically creating a new one at 3,897, but no candlestick really pushed there. That sort of exhaustion of the candle, and then obviously all the buyers that got entered into their positions here got excited, and if they stayed in the markets, then they would have got completely tapped out. As you can see, we saw that enormous bearish drop. So with that being said, continuing on then, we will go ahead and delete some of these drawings just to clear things up a little bit. You can see that overall the market has been bullish once again. We have sort of changed from the structure of creating these higher highs and then higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. Obviously you can see that price did in turn create a lower high and a lower low. However, price has sort of recorrected itself with price finishing in and around this area. It's very exciting now, with the anticipation waiting for the market to open tonight at 10 p.m. GMT. We're looking at this area to be the sort of place that we are either going to see buyers push from or sellers push from. As we know, a lot of sellers and buyers are still holding positions within the market, and obviously when the market opens on 10 p.m. On Sunday at 10 p.m. GMT, we will see those sort of market orders filled, and we will see some probably quite a bit of volume upon market open, which you don't normally see. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and base our current analysis and overall bias of the market on current price action and current candlestick structure. So what does that mean? I mean this. So with the current overall bullish momentum that we have seen, of course, looking at our daily time frame, you can see that the candlestick has finished above these two candlesticks here, indicating to us that buyers did take control of that day, and we did see sort of sellers try to push the price down. However, buyers completely took control by the end of the day, before the market closed, and finishing with a finish above these two highs here, indicating to us that we are going to see that push again. If I look at our weekly, you can see that another enormous week of bullish momentum has taken place. However, if we have a look at the DXY, which is the dollar index, and if I go ahead and go on our daily, you can see that the dollar is propping itself up for a very, very big push, which in turn will cause a massive correction on gold. We are talking probably a couple thousand pips, but I don't think we're going to see that anytime soon. The move that I do think we are going to see as of right now is going to be a continuation of this bullish momentum. So seeing price break through this previous all-time high of 3,895, and I believe price is going to make an attempt on the level of 4,000. I think price will either touch that level and then retrace, and we'll see that big correction, or price will sort of be on its way to hitting that 4,000 level before we see price then have that correction due to the propped up dollar index that we just had a look at there. Of course, there's bearish scenarios to take place as well. There's always the possibility we could see price open up here, test this level of 3,870, and then push up. We could see this level of 3,870 fail, and we could see price sort of push down to this previous level here, which is that previous all-time high, which could then start some major sort of consolidation. But I think, based on what we're seeing right now, I think the move that makes the most sense is a continuation, and then look at that level of 3,895 to see where price goes on from there. If we see price finish in or above this level with a bodied candlestick within the hour 1 time frame, we are going to expect gold to push on probably somewhere to around the 3,915 level. So with all that being said, there's one more thing that I want to touch up on, and it is this level of 3,870. If you have been watching these videos for quite a while and you remember the level of 3,663, first of all, let me say congratulations and thank you for being a supporter of us for quite a while. And secondly, I believe that this level of 3,870 is going to be that same sort of acting point of interest that we saw 3,663 act as, a main sort of serious an important divergence / pivotal point for gold. I believe if price drops below this level, we are going to see bearish momentum continue. I believe if price stays propped above this level of 3,870, we're going to see enormous amounts of continued bullish pressure, pushing price higher and higher and higher. However, I do believe that ceiling is going to be somewhere around that 4,000 level before we then see that huge correction, which I anticipate price is probably going to come to around 3,625, give or take. So I think correction wise, we're going to see this push all the way up to around 4,000, and then the correction is going to sort of come all the way down to sort of around the middle of sort of 3,600, and then we're going to see some consolidation between these areas, the same way as you have seen before. Price creates that all-time high, and then we see some consolidation for a few months. We've seen this many times in the past. For example, create an all-time high 2,080, and then price consolidates for months and months before we then push up higher and higher. We can see that happening all the way throughout gold. So with that being said, that's going to be our post-week market review. As always, I hope you've all enjoyed, and if you haven't already, don't forget to hit that like, comment and subscribe button. And most importantly, if you don't have a Prop Firm Challenge account with us, be sure to check us out in the link in the description below. We are obviously newly launched. We've been launched for just over a month now, I'd say, but we've had an amazing journey so far, thanks to the help of our traders, our community. It's been a really fun ride, and I'm hoping we can keep this ride going, and we can sort of see this prop completely take over. So the only way we can do that is if you guys join us, start making some money, scale up your accounts, receive some payouts, give us some good feedback hopefully, and we can go from there and keep getting bigger and bigger. So once again, I hope you've all enjoyed. This is our post-week market review. I will catch you in our midweek technical analysis video. Peace.